That time of the week where we come to you with the 49ers practice updates for Thursday as this team gets prepared for the game against the Rams. Now, obviously, this is a little bit of a weird one and not highly anticipated as normal because, as we all know, this game coming up against the Rams technically doesn't matter, at least in the sense of, rankings or seeding or anything like that. It does matter, however, that we stay healthy and we get healthy. So that's going to be kind of the main focus of the update coming out of practice today, this Thursday. One more practice left in the week. But there is good news. We are getting some players back, and there are some players that I would like to see who potentially maybe wouldn't get as many snaps as normal. So let's take a look at today's practice update, courtesy of Nick Wagner of ESPN. So let's start off with the guys who aren't practicing. Defensive tackle Eric Armstead, foot and knee. I think it's safe to say Eric is done for the season. It's kind of been that way, I would say, since him not playing against the Ravens. That's kind of how I looked at it. If he was going to play, I would say the Ravens game would have been it. But after that, it's put him on ice, get him healthy, and get him ready and fresh for the playoffs. So it's been a long time since we've had Eric Armstead. He will definitely bring a huge presence back to that defensive line when he is ready to go. Jair Brown, knee, doesn't practice today. So it does seem like uh, the 49ers current starting safeties are trending towards being out, but we will continue to see what that looks like. Tight end Ross Dwelly, who is dealing with an ankle, did not practice today. And as mentioned, starting safety Tashawn Gibson, who's dealing with a quad, doesn't practice today either. We already know about Christian McCaffrey, who's out with the calf, and of course, Ambry Thomas, who had surgery on his hand, didn't practice today. So, are there any surprises on this list? No. I think we all kind of anticipate this is like a weird game in the sense we are anticipating there's going to be some guys that aren't going to play. Again, Eric's not probably going to play. Gibson, we already know, is not going to play, most likely. McCaffrey and Ambry, but you might have to throw Jair Brown into that mix as well. So that obviously brings up the conversation of who's going to be playing at safety. It's likely going to be a combination of Isaiah Oliver, who was our slot nickel, who's been taking safety reps. So he might get some run at safety. Logan Ryan, who got the start last week, the veteran Eric Harris on the practice squad, and Taylor Hawkins on the practice squad as well for the safety position. So we'll see how that works out. And we start to get to the good news. 49ers offensive line is starting to get healthy, so that's a good thing. Jonathan Feliciano is dealing with a back. He got a limited participation in today. 2 limited participations in a row for Juwan Jennings, who missed the last 2 games due to being in the concussion protocol. So that's a very positive sign for Juwan Jennings. And I think that's a guy that we want to see out there and get a lot of snaps, especially for a guy who hasn't played the past 2 games. And I think we've missed quite a bit. So would love to see Juwan Jennings get extended snaps against this Rams team coming in here, who will also be resting a ton of their starters. Running back Elijah Mitchell was able to get a limited practice in today after not practicing yesterday with an illness. I do imagine this is going to be an Elijah Mitchell showcase game in the sense of no Christian McCaffrey. And we saw that Elijah Mitchell was the back who got the bulk of the workload in that game against the Commanders. And he played really well in that game. So it's going to be running back by committee. Of course, we're going to see Jordan Mason likely as well, but I do expect Elijah Mitchell to be the number 1 back in there. And in regards to full go and full practice participation for today, guard Aaron Banks with the toe. So that's a good sign, as Aaron Banks did not start last week, even though he was dressed as, I guess, precaution. But he didn't start and didn't play at all. Aaron Banks is back to being full. So it'll be very interesting to see what Aaron Banks does and if he will play. I do imagine the 49ers offensive line will get some snaps, but we'll have to see. Wide receiver Danny Gray, who had his practice window open, I believe, last week, practice in full. There's no indication of him actually coming off IR just yet. He's still technically there. And obviously, if he were to come off, the 49ers would have to make a roster move. So we're not out the weeds just yet with Danny Gray. However, some good news for wide receiver Ray McCloud, who had his practice window opened up this week. Um, he practiced in full today. So it's going to be very interesting to see what roster moves come down the pipe as we get prepared, because obviously if you're bringing Danny Gray and or Ray McCloud off IR, you're having to release some people as well. So that will be an interesting decision. I would like to see Ray McCloud back there, get his feet wet, get back into the action, get back out there so he can get ready for the playoffs. I think Ray will actually be a welcomed return, no pun intended, to the return game. So would love to get Ray back out there against the Rams, get him reacclimated because he has missed some time. So would like to get him out there. And also good news, offensive tackle Jalen Moore back at practice today after missing last week's with a concussion. And again, this is the same thought process of I do expect Trent to start. I don't expect Trent to finish the game. So having guys like Jalen Moore allows you to be more fluid with your backup tackles. That means Matt Pryor can go in at right tackle, Jalen Moore at left tackle, and they could start to spell some guys. So going to be interesting to see how that's again. This is one of the the more fascinating things about this game is not so much that we got to go out there and win it. It's how do we manage this? Who plays, who doesn't play, how much do they play, how much do they don't play, who's coming back, who's not coming back. It's a weird practice report. It's definitely the first one like this of the year. Typically, we're like, oh, we hope this guy's playing. He got a limited practice in today. Oh, this is a good sign. He's trending in the right direction. Or, oh, no, this guy's trending in the wrong direction. They're all kind of trending in the direction that I think we think they're trending. Like, if that makes sense. Like, no Christian McCaffrey. Okay, yeah, good, right? Like, I think all the fans feel comfortable with no Christian McCaffrey against the Rams. So, again, interesting practice report, especially how we're viewing it and how we're kind of quantifying it and trying to extrapolate out like what we're going to see from this team. But hey, it's a Thursday practice report heading into the final week of the season, a game that is the furthest thing from a must win imaginable. And so we'll see how the 49ers manage this moving forward. So we got one more practice update that will come tomorrow. And per usual, we're going to let you know about it. But I don't really know what it means. Do you know what it means? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.